Grady's 80s. There you go, Big and Rich on KWCD Country. Hey, it's Grady Butler, and we're heading to the phone with John Rich. Good morning.
Good morning, Grady. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great here in Nashville today, and watching the weather warm up. I bet it's hot where you're at, though, huh?
It's always hot in Arizona, right?
It's always hot. It's always hot. Yeah, I don't know how you'll deal with that, but, you cool yourself off with a little whiskey maybe every now and then.
That's exactly it, and that's why you're calling. You have a new whiskey that's available right here in Arizona. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's called Redneck Riviera American Blended Whiskey. It is my brand. I own the brand, and we're now in 45 states. And this whiskey, it's pretty interesting because I've always been a Crown Royal guy. And if you listen to Big and Rich music, you probably know Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. And it says, we buy the bar a double round of Crown, and everybody's getting down. I mean, Crown Royal has always been kind of the go-to for Big and Rich. And it's Canadian blended whiskey. And a few years ago, I thought, I wonder if there's such a thing as American blended whiskey. And I went to a couple of big stores and said, hey, show me where your American blended whiskey is, and nobody had anything called that. So I thought, well, I wonder if I could invent something, create a brand new American blend that nobody's ever had before, and see if I could make it the smoothest stuff out there. So I worked on it for all of 2017. I finally got the blend where I wanted it to be, and I told my distiller, there's one last person I got to run this by before we put it out, and that's my 86-year-old Granny Rich, who's been sipping whiskey since World War II. And the distiller said, is this serious? I said, oh, it's serious. It's got to be Granny Rich approved, or we've got to continue working on it. So I took it out to Granny, poured her a little shot of it. She threw it back and said, that might be the smoothest whiskey I've ever had in my entire life. I said, can I tell America it's Granny Rich approved? And she blew some cigarette smoke right in my face and said, it's Granny Rich approved. So we launched it January of 2018.
And if you ever try some, you need to use the hashtag Granny Rich approved, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And drink American. That's another thing we say all the time. So we put it out, and it's now, like I said, it's 45 states. Because I do own it, I get to make a lot of really interesting decisions. One is, well, how much should it cost? And my distiller said, John, this whiskey's so good, we could probably get $50 a bottle for this whiskey. And I said, well, we probably could get that, but we're not going to charge people that, because where I come from, nobody's got $50 to spend on a bottle of anything. And I said, this whiskey's meant for America's working class. It says on the bottle, work hard, play hard. That's the mantra of Redneck Riviera. We celebrate the hardworking people of this country. So I said, nah, let's put it at $24.99. So that's how much it is. It's under $25, and then I get to give 10% of the profits of every single bottle sold throughout America to a group called the Folds of Honor, which is a group that puts kids through college who lost a parent in combat fighting for our country. And in 2018, Grady, Redneck Riviera whiskey paid for 43 college scholarships.
Wow.
That's real impact, and I know we all say, thank you for your service, and you always should say that, but I think this is a way to take it a step further and really have serious impact, educating the kids, getting their kids through college with a parent who gave the ultimate sacrifice. I can't think of a better place to put your 10%. And I know probably right now there's a lot of veterans and active duty probably listening to us right now. I just want to say thank you, men and women, for the job that you do. They're the reason we still have an American dream. That they're the reason we have all the good stuff that we have in this country. So it's really an honor to be able to give back to those families through Redneck Riviera whiskey.
Well, say hi to all the folks on Fort Huachuca that are listening to you right now.
Hey, Fort Huachuca, y'all keep it up. We appreciate you, and we love you. You guys rock and roll. Try a little bit of my whiskey. I think you'll like it.
And before we tell you where you can get it, let's talk about the flavor real quick. How'd you come up with the flavor?
Okay. I've always been a guy that I guess the reason I drank Crown was because it was probably the least abrasive whiskey to me. It was like this on the smoother end of stuff, and I thought, man, if I could figure out an all-American blend that didn't burn, didn't bite, and left a really, really nice finish. I kind of like that caramel kind of back is what I call it that happens at the end. If I could come up with something like that, we'd really have something. Well, that's the experience of drinking it. Most people don't mix it with anything. They just put it on ice, or they don't even do that half the time. They just drink it, sip it neat, and which is pretty cool to have one that's that smooth. That's a brand new thing. A lot of people around the country have been pulling those bottles down off the shelves and hitting me on Twitter and going, "You weren't kidding, this is smooth." They'll call it dangerously smooth even sometimes, which is exactly what I was going for.
All right, so now that we know that it's Granny Rich approved, where can we get it?
So it's really simple. If you're looking for Redneck Riviera whiskey in Arizona or anywhere else, really, you go to redneckriviera.com, and on the very first page it says Store Locator. You click on that, you put in your zip code, boom, all the stores pop up. I will tell you that in Arizona, all the Albertsons, all the Safeways have it, and there are select Walmarts that also have it, and then tons and tons of local liquor stores have it. So we have literally hundreds of locations now in Arizona that you'll find on that Store Locator at redneckriviera.com.
Well, John Rich, we appreciate you calling and telling us all about it, and we thank you for all the music that you've done and entertained us over the years, and thanks for giving a call to KWCD.
Absolutely, man. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.